So let's use this matrix here as an example. So we're going to use this matrix for each of these A, B, and C. Okay. So for row 1, for example 2A, row 1, switch with row 2. So our result, this is our original matrix. And so our result would be, and this is how we write it, row 1 with row 2. So I'm going to take row 2 and write it first because I'm switching it with row 1. And then row 1 becomes row 2. And row 3 stays the same. Okay. So for letter B, we have 1/4 times R1, and then our result would be placed in R1. So let me go ahead and write it down here. So 1/4 R1, place in R1. So I'm going to have 1/4 times, actually, let me just write the matrix first, row 1. Okay. And so we want to multiply 1/4 row 1 and place the results back in row 1. So here's my row 1, and I'm going to multiply that times 1/4. So 1/4 times 4 is going to be a 1. 1/4 times 12 would be a 3. 1/4 times -20 would be -5. 1/4 times 8 would be 2. And then the rest of the matrix will remain the same as we didn't multiply those rows by any other number. So let's look at letter C. Here we have row 2. So let me just write the matrix. One, 6, -3, and 7. -3, -2, 1, -9. And we want to multiply by row 2, add it to row 3, and then place back in row 2. So I ran out of space here, but I would normally put the matrix right here. So I'm just going to put it down here. So here, the only row that's going to change is row 2. So row 1 is going to remain the same. And row 2, although we're using it, at the end, the only thing that is going to change is row 2. So let me go ahead and scratch that out really quick. So row 3 is what I meant to say is not going to change. We're using it, but we're not going to change it. So the only thing that's going to change is what goes in here for row 2. So first we would multiply row 2 by 3. So I'm going to multiply it here. So that would be 3 times 1 is 3. And then the result we're adding to row 3. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus -3 is 0. And then -3 times 6 is 18 plus a -2 would be 16. And then 3 times -3 is -9, and we're adding it to row 3, so then we get -8. And 3 times 7 is 21, plus -9, and so that gives us a positive 12. Okay, so notice here, we multiplied the second row by 3, and the results we were adding to row 3, but at the end, the final result is we've placed for row 2.